All right, here we are. Robin Dale Oen. How you doing, my friend?
Fine, I'm doing really fine, thank you. And how are you doing in the warm, sunny California?
Yeah, I'm happy. It's 2024, the beginning of a new cycle, new Olympic year, my friend. So everything is very exciting right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really exciting. Unfortunately, I don't have like 25 degrees. I have -2, -5 degrees, clear sky, and the kids are ice skating outside. So it's winter time here.
In Norway.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you say the kids are ice skating, what does that mean? How many kids have you got?
I got 3 kids. 2 are 14, Trygg Alexander turning 13. No, 12. And Lykke turning 9. So a beautiful family.
So you named your son after your brother?
Yeah, we did. Alex died the 1st of May in 2012. And I was supposed to be on training camp with Alex in Flagstaff. But because of Becky, my wife, we was having Trygg, and he arrived 2 days after Alex died.
Wow.
So the day Alex died, we went to the hospital, and we named him Trygg, means safe, Alexander.
Wow. That's a lot to happen in a few days, eh?
Yeah, it was too much. But yeah, Trygg is an amazing kid, and he lives up to his uncle's name, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to talk about you and talk about your brother and his legacy and your history together. So take us back to the beginning. I mean, two brothers. How did you get into swimming together?
No, we were actually, we live outside Bergen, west coast of Norway, 60 minutes in a car. And we did actually football when we were like 4, 5, 6 years old. And they're starting a swim club, and we joined it, and we trained here for 5, 6 years before starting high school. And actually, it's a fun story because my dad picked up the phone and called all the swim clubs in Bergen if they could accept us as swimmers there. And none of them wanted to have us because we were not fast enough in the early age. So, but eventually we went to a small new club, West Coast Swimmers, amazing club. We were actually 5 swimmers in Melbourne 2007, the World Championships.
Wow.
In the same club. So it was an amazing trip as a brothers, and living together, training together, share everything together, and it was a journey, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, Alex is what, 5 years younger, so he was he always a breaststroker growing up?
He was always a breaststroker.
Yeah,
and
you're just born like that, huh? You're born with some weird gene that makes you a breaststroker.
Yeah, he was always really fast in breaststroke. And I went back in the documents actually to see in 96 he was 11 years old, and he went 139 in 100 breaststroke.
Wow.
And 2000, in 4 years, he did 107.
Wow.
And in 2007, he did 58.8. And 2011, 57.05. So he was always a breaststroker. Yeah.
Wow. And then what about you? What were you growing up?
I was a freestyler. And yeah, I've been to the Worlds and Europeans and stuff, and had finals and semifinals, and yeah, I did 22.3 on the 50 freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went really sick actually before Beijing in the Europeans in Eindhoven, in Peter's Stadium. And I was so sick, really, really sick. So I went to the pre-camp and Olympics with Alex as a friend and coach and whatever you are. But I was not able to start swimming again. Whenever I started training, the body did respond not the way I wanted it. So But
was this illness from some sort of training, incident where were you overtraining, or was it from something completely different?
Yeah, I was, of the two of us, I was the guy who was training, went to a new training when the training was over. And that has always been my problem, because I really wanted to be the best swimmer, and I did everything to get there. And it was too much. The lungs, both of the lungs said enough is enough. And after Eindhoven in 2008, it spread to my brain. So I was pretty ill for a long time. But you see, we are a team. Most of all, we were a team. And we were lucky to be two brothers training every day together, travel all around the world, living together, share everything. And one of us succeeded really big, and that is, I'm so proud. You know, people often ask and say the toughest thing in life is to honor a friend to succeed and have a success. And I must say, when we were traveling, and I think we were crying when we succeeded in me freestyle and him breaststroke, and it was amazing time, really amazing time.
Is there any correlation at all with your brother's death and the fact that it was an Olympic year in the lead up to an Olympics, where he was at a training camp and he was pushing? Obviously, when you're at a training camp, you're pushing. He's at altitude. Is there any relationship between the level of work he was doing and the fact that he passed away, or was this just a freak incident?
No, it has nothing to do with all the training. The accident, it was illness from he was 15 years old. They are calculating it started to deform his heart. And we have this issue in the family. My grandpa had the same, on both sides actually.
Wow.
So they all died really young, my grandfathers. And me and Alex was the only two in the family who didn't take this test for the heart diseases, because we were athletes training 25 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. It was not a problem. So he had 2 heart attacks before he died, actually.
What do you mean before he died? Like how long before?
A half a year before, in training camp.
So you guys knew about this then?
No, we didn't know. So they couldn't find it out. So it's a disease we have in the family, and it's really
Have you been screened now? Have they looked at your heart?
Yeah, mine is totally fine, and it was, and he won the World Championships with 65% of the heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the year before in Shanghai?
Yeah, 2011. So he was a machine, really machine. Never complained, and he was doing what was
he was supposed to do. So it was a terrible accident, but it didn't have anything to do with traveling to Flagstaff, or it was something we have in the family. So, but of course, if you were a normal person, not an athlete, I bet they will check you. They will check your heart if there was anything. But yeah,
right. When you say that, you know, he kind of didn't see any signs or anything. Was there anything that in the lead up to this? I mean, when you're competing and 65% of your heart is working properly, like there must be something that tells you kind of some indication. Was there anything?
Yeah, he had. There was pain in the shoulders and neck and chest for quite a long time. And the doctors tried to. They screamed in a lot, and he also went to the Mayo Clinic in the States to check it out, but they couldn't. They didn't check the right thing.
Right.
So yeah, a terrible accident, and far too young. That's for sure.
So when they screen you now, when they go in and they look at you, how do they determine that you don't have this genetic disease? What do they look at?
They're screening the heart and all the veins and blood tests, and so they look totally fine. But we need to check the kids, of course, when they grow up, and to see how they are compared to this disease. But
how do you protect from this? How would they have, if let's say they had he goes in, he's got chest pains, they figure out, oh, let's screen the heart, they look at the right area. What do they do next?
The kids, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, let's say they detect something in your brother's heart. You know, what could they have done if they hadn't detected it?
Yeah, they could have medicine, stents. He couldn't be an athlete, like a world-class athlete anymore. But that doesn't matter in the picture at all. And the same is it for a normal human being. If they get this disease, you can live a long, fine life with it. So
yeah.
But you know how you push the body and the practices and the competitions, and that's all in your head, and you all think about is the next competition, the next start, the next term. And so you don't like my shoulder or my neck, or it's not in front of you.
Right. Yeah. Look, the reason, part of the reason why I'm having this conversation with you as well is because I think it's relevant right now. Is that, look, we're in an Olympic year, and every single one of and I actually had this conversation, crazy enough, I had this conversation with the Cal swim team. I was with the California swim team at altitude last week, and I had this conversation with them. I said, look, everybody wants it this year. Everybody's going to push harder than they've ever pushed. Everybody's going to work to the maximum effort. That's not really what's going to be at question this preparation. You know, we're not going to question your effort. You're going to give more effort than you've ever given, because everybody wants to be an Olympic champion this year. What I'm going to question is, how are you recovering? How are you looking after yourself? How are you doing the things that are necessary in order to come back and work harder the next time? But you've got to look after yourself. You got to be smart with yourself. And again, this is nothing that Alex could have done at the time, but I know that every athlete is pushing hard. So maybe if you're getting signs like a tight chest or what have you, then it may be a situation where it's best to go and get it looked at, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. And after Alex passed away, we got a lot of phones and a lot of histories of other athletes that have the same pains, the same and they go to the doctor, and the doctors do the right tests this time.
Right.
And so we have learned about it, but it was a way too big accident that happened, and it wasn't supposed to happen that way. But lucky us, the doctors and the sports community, I learned about it. And now they're traveling with the doctors, they have the physiotherapists with them. And I think when you're an athlete and you have problems and you go to the doctor or to the medic team, they say things are in control. It's not that. It's not dangerous. You can do what you normally do. You trust them. And that's why I think it's important to have doctors, a medic team with the teams that is operational, not like a desk doctor, but have doctors and medic team that is used to sick people to take on if the Cal Berkeley or swim team.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I saw the Cal Berkeley team pushing harder than I've seen most athletes train. They were doing 3-a-days. They're in the pool a couple of times a day. They're in the gym, and every workout they were pushing their body to the extreme. And they didn't have a doctor with them, who was there 24/7. And you're talking about, 40, 45 athletes who are in their prime and they're pushing harder than they've ever pushed. It would make sense. I mean, I'm sure there was a doctor on call, but it'd be sensible to have somebody there with that many athletes pushing that hard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't have, actually. If you go to a stadium for American football, I bet they have 2, 5, 10 doctors in the stadium. And it's Olympic year, but that shouldn't matter either. If you are world-class athletes, you have a world-class medic team around you, because you are the modern fighter.
Well said. Yeah, I agree with that. Listen, I just remember too, your brother coming onto the scene and almost shocking the world in a little way, like, oh, who's this new guy, who's this young guy, who's this? I mean, it was just kind of like, wow. And the momentum that was building. He wins the world championship, he wins the European championship, and the momentum is building into London after he has success in Beijing. He finished second there. So it's like, it was almost like it was his time. Like, it almost felt like London was his time. This is the guy that's going to be the new guy on top. And it was just snuffed away and very shocking for everybody. I mean, I just remember, I didn't know him, but I was devastated. It was just like, how could this happen? If this could happen to him, it could happen to anybody. But then I felt really guilty because I didn't really know him at the time, so it's like, tell me about your brother. Tell me more that we don't know about your brother.
He was a fantastic person, that's for sure. And he loved everybody around him. And if you take the sports field, like the professional Alex in the sports, he loved and gave all the honor to not only the coaches in front, but the technicians, all the team, the 25 people in the team. And private, he loved the family. And I remember we got my oldest girl, Tuva, she's a swimmer, and he said the biggest moment in his life was when Tuva was born. And that was kind of person he was. Had a lot of friends, always fantastic brother and family member and uncle and friend, and and he was in training, like when I was visiting you, or we were going to Japan, training there, or other places, when we come back, we always teach the others what we would teach it, and showed everything to everybody, and was always asking, what can we do better? How can we take 100, 200s in the turns, in the start, analysis.
Oh, right.
So he was. That's the reason all of the people loved him, because he was so generous and a nice person.
Yeah. His death had an impact on the swimming community for sure. Like I said, I didn't know him, but I was just devastated for so long. I had this pain, just like, oh my God, like I couldn't believe that he was gone, and his competitors showed him some love in that respect too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And sure, you remember the World Championships in Rome, when all the records was broken with the suits, and he went on the block with a small arena brief, just to demonstrate that we need to do something. So he put his own medals and chances away for the sport. So he was that guy that did what he was supposed to do every day, and also gave a lot back to the other swimmers, but also the team.
Yeah. And now I know that you've started foundation, and you're honoring his legacy as well, in terms of some of the things that you guys were planning to do together. I know that you've got this TED Talk that is titled "We Had a Dream." So what is that about, and what does it mean exactly?
We were lucky. We grew up in the west coast here, west coast of Bergen. England is nearer than Oslo, and we were lucky to get a national team and compete for Norway. And I think the proudest moment in our life was when they gave us the national swim cap and the team dress and tickets for the first training camp and the first championship. And we were lucky to travel all around the world and see and meet fantastic athletes and people. And we also saw the backside when we went outside nice hotels and stadiums. And Alex was a photograph. He took a master in photography, and he brought always the camera. So we saw a lot abroad and in Norway, of course. So we talked about how can we change and help young boys and girls to find their dreams and go for the dreams and see all the talents you have in life. So we talked about that, and we started before in 2011 designing a website and so on. And we were supposed to launch it after London in 2012. And when Alex passed away, the general secretary in Norwegian Swimming Federation, Bjørn, and me, we started the foundation in Alex's name. And since we've done what we're supposed to do, we started like in the really, really easy things, like the Norwegian fauna, the glaciers, went skiing there, and we took like easy skiing trips across the Northwest Passage in Canada, 700 kilometers. there, and I brought kids age 11 to 15, and some swimmers, and did like that expeditions. And now we do have 6 centers in Norway and 3 academies, and 1,000 by 1,000 of young boys and girls visiting us a year. And it's a really nice legacy for Alex, and it's a nice thing to do for all the people that don't have the opportunities that we had. Athletes and travel around the world. So now I'm sitting in the first center we have, the Dale Oen Center number 1. We're sitting in now. The ocean is 10 meters that way.
Wow.
And so we do have the center, like we have visitors in the weekends, in all the vacations. We do like diving, climbing, sea kayaking, hiking, basic survival activities. And we also have the academy, a 9-month program. They're staying in the centers we have. They're living there for 9 months.
Wow.
And we're saying we don't give grades. We're building characters. And that's what we do. We teach them to believe in themselves. We teach them to find their dreams. And we succeed with that. It's amazing.
No, it sounds like a life experience where you're teaching them skills for life. How does this coincide with the normal school that they would normally take?
It's a totally different thing, because in the normal school you're giving grades in every column you have, and at the academy, ours academy, they're staying for a year, and we're doing a lot of different stuff through the year to make them ready for the rest of their life. So during the year, they're having a lot of courses like diving, boating, survival, all kind of different courses. And we make rockets going up. We're making ROVs, drones for the bottom of the ocean. We're sailing sailboats around in Norway.
Hang on a second. You see, you're sailing, you're diving, you're climbing mountains, you're building rockets. How do I get into this school, man? What do I got to do?
Just apply, man. Just apply for it. So
this is the type of school that I could have done well at. I failed the other school. I could have done well at this school.
That's right. And actually, yesterday and today, I had some of the kids at the academy. They joined the swim practice after they finished for the day. So it's amazing experience. And I must say, when they're starting in August here, after the summer, we're standing them up, the classes, and telling who we are, the history and everything. And they are the hoodie over your head, you're looking down on your feet, and really, really, how is this going to be?
Right.
And I'm telling them only one sentence, that I want this to be your best year in your life. That's our goal.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, in the summer, we have the graduation. It's a lot of tears, it's a lot of happiness, and we meet them during the years and years when they finish here, and you see how well they're doing. They're having education, they do have work, some of them have got families. It's give you a good feeling for doing something good for other people. That's for sure.
Is it boys and girls?
Yeah, boys and girls, age 15 to 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how do they take a year off school? I mean, is it just kind of a gap year or something?
Yeah. So in Norway, actually, this year we do have some students coming from different countries in Europe, and you can take a year off, either from high school or university, and they use it here. And I must say, the boys and girls who goes to the academy is part of the people that are not motivated or haven't found a motivation, or they need a year to do something else, to find themselves, to find their inner motivation, to find their talents. And we try to find their talents with them, and we try to make them believe in their talents. And so we're building characters, building really, really nice boys and girls who eventually is going to be in school or in work and can manage themselves. And we do the same in the national team, where I work in the national team also in the federation and as coach there. And we do the same there in the training camps or during the year, work with who you are and what's your talents beside being an athlete.
Yeah.
What's your dream beside winning the Olympics? To have good athletes that say hello and good morning in the morning and says thanks for the practice, have a good day. That's easy stuff. But also, who are you deep inside? And that's important. That's for us as coaches, that's important, to build a really good person, not just the Olympic champion, but a good, decent person.
Man, it sounds like we need these centers all over the world, not just Norway.
Yeah. Maybe come to US next year.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. How do you fund this? How did you even start this dream to get it funded?
Yeah, it's tough, of course. We apply different companies, and we do have some sponsors that pays for the academy and the experiences they're having. But it's a work, that's for sure. It's a big work, job to all these meetings and to try to get the money in, because it's not, we are building rockets and we do sailing and diving and hiking and expeditions. It's not cheap.
No.
So we need some income. So it's a big job. But when you see that, I suppose it's the same with athletes as a coach. When you see the results and they're succeeding, you forget totally the work you did.
Yeah.
You enjoyed the travel. You enjoyed what you did every day. And that's the same way we do it here. I love when our athletes succeed. And I love the young students go off the experience in the academies. And all the work, it's just something you have to do every day.
How many kids are in the academy each year, and then how many people do you have working at the academy?
In the foundation, we had around 130,000 students in total.
Yeah.
And that's in total with what we do in the weekends and the holidays and so on. So there is classes everywhere, but like I say, when I'm having speech and talks, it's every single boy and girl deserve your attention. And then it's maybe wrong to count all the people, but you must lay enough effort to see everybody in the eyes and get to know them. That's the most important thing. And like in athletes, some of them will be the world champions and Olympic champions, and some of them will be the rest of the team but it's the team that's the most important.
Yeah.
And you would never had an Olympic champion without the team either. So
Right.
you need to. It's a good cooperation, and that's the way we do it. Building characters, building good people, make them believe in themselves, and some of them is going to be rocket scientists, and some of the athletes is going to be world-class athletes, and some of them is going to be, and all of them is going to be fantastic people.
I've got some twin girls who are 15 who need some of this experience, man. I might be applying for my twin girls in the future.
Yes, send them over. Not a problem.
Absolutely. They could kill this. I mean, they would love this. I mean, I don't know if they'd love it initially. They'd probably be the girls with the hood over their head initially, but then at the end they would be the ones celebrating. So yeah, that sounds incredible, man. Well, wow, congratulations on all that. That's phenomenal to have a concept like that with your brother, and then have this tragedy, and then to see this thing kind of progress and fulfill its dream. That's phenomenal. 140,000 kids that you've had an impact on in this time. That's really remarkable, my friend.
Yeah, and the trip, the 12 years has gone so fast. And the Olympic cyclists, 4 years,
Yep.
it goes so fast. And we have the same here. You're starting a year in August with the new kids, and then in June, July, they're finished. But where did the year go off?
Yeah.
And but it's like you're saying, it's preparation, it's hard work, and it's all about doing the right stuff.
Yeah. What about let's go to this real quick. What about where are we with Norway swimming right now in terms of this Olympic year? How are things looking in the country?
Now it's looking. We do have 3 or 4 athletes going to the Olympics. Not much, but it's that we have at this moment. COVID had done something, of course, the long years without swimming for many athletes.
Yeah.
But what I really like to see, and I get motivating over, is the young swimmers we do have now. We did have a lot of medals in the Youth Olympic Games last year, medals in the Junior Europeans. So it's growing really good, especially in 50, 100, and 200 segment.
Yeah.
So now it's World Championships in not 10 weeks.
Right.
And maybe do have some in finals there, a couple of in finals, maybe a 50 freestyler. He's doing a really good job. And also Henrik Christiansen, of course, on the 800 and 1500. He's been in the heats for a 4 years now after the last Olympics. But it's really happening something in the younger age, the junior age, and that's good for the future. But the big not the problem, but what we see is it's difficult to keep them in swimming for a long time. And in history in Norway, like Alex and Sarah, who had the medals in the Worlds and Olympics, were mid-20s, last 20s.
Right.
And then we need to keep them in swimming 5, 6, 7 years longer in average before they quit.
Yeah.
So they're probably the same issues everywhere. But of course, we are a small nation. So we do have 3,000 swimmers. That's what we have. So we need to take good care of every swimmer, see them, and try to coach them motivate him.
Well,
and Norway is big, it's long, so yeah.
Yeah, I haven't spent too much time in Norway. I've been through it, but I haven't spent much time there. So if there's ever a chance that I could come out there, do some coaches education, maybe work with some of the swimmers in the federation, or maybe even do something with your foundation, please let me know. I'd love to get out there and spend some time and do some things.
Yeah, Brett, you're more than welcome. And I didn't tell about our conferences. We do have one conference a year in the foundation. We do have like Nobel Peace Prize winners, scientists, astronauts. We do have come together and have motivational talks for the stadium. And this year, I booked a football stadium, 12,000 seats.
Wow.
And a podium in the middle of the field. And we are collecting students, young boys and girls, age 11 to 20, to just getting motivated. And the people coming in, the speakers coming in, and just have 25 minutes.
Yeah.
To go to give them big dreams.
Yeah.
All of them. So that's also something we do.
Sign me up. I want to come to that.
I sign you up, Brett. You're more than welcome in September.
Perfect. That's a perfect time after the Olympics. Come over to Norway. Yeah, fantastic. I'd love that.
Then we have a deal.
Yeah, deal. Okay. Well, I appreciate it, my friend. Listen, congratulations to you for everything and everything you're doing for your brother and his memory, his foundation, and it's exceptional. And like I said, your brother had a big impact on a lot of people, and so it's one of those things where I wanted to really continue his memory, his legacy, and learn from him a little bit, and just continue to honor him. So yeah, congratulations on everything you're doing.
Thank you so much, Brett, and thank you so much for having me in your podcasts. I've seen every podcast in the start, and it's really motivate me every week. So so fun to be here, and good to see you again, and keep up the really good work you're doing.
Thanks, Robin. I appreciate it, and you too. All right, we'll catch up soon.
We will do it, Brett. Bye-bye.
Bye.